find what we call our perfect Pilates posture, okay? So with your perfect Pilates posture, the first thing I do is start with the feet. And if we place our feet side by side, and then turn your toes out to the corners of the room, instantly the inner thighs will start to engage and you'll feel the muscles in your bottom engage as well here. Obviously that position there would be a great position to actually exercise in to keep that engagement, but for our beginners might really struggle to stay with their feet in that position. So I'm then going to realign my heels with my toes, and that's going to bring my feet underneath my hip bones. Often a lot of people struggle when you say to them, stand with your feet under your hips. They often think that their hips are either this wide or they think they're like this narrow. So just by using that little cue, it really helps participants to be able to find that position. That doesn't mean that in the future, when you're working with more intermediate clients, they might want to start in this position. And also there might be some exercises where we work wider. But for the moment, we're going to stay with our feet just under our hip bones. Now take an even distribution of your weight between your right and your left foot. So I don't want you to place too much weight on one side or the other. Really feel your feet. So feel your big toe, feel your little toe, feel the back of your heel. And they have got an even distribution of your weight between those points. So you're not leaning and standing more on one leg than you are on the other. You're also not placing too much weight on the insides or the outsides of your feet. Everything is balanced. Come up through the legs, and we're going to put our tension in the muscles, not the joints. So I don't want you to lock your knees. Think about them being strong by tensing the muscles around them. So we want to put our tension into the muscles rather than into the joints. Coming up through the body, I definitely want you to put tension in the bottom. These play such a huge role with your back health and your pelvic floor health. So I want you to really think about those muscles in the bum being powerful and strong, like your powerhouse. We're going to bring our pelvis into neutral spine, and this is the safest place for the lower back, and it's the most effective place to engage the abdominals. So there's two ways I've got to be able to find it. First one, I want you to rock your pelvis forward and back. Think about how that feels and how much movement you've got there in the pelvis. Now this will change on a daily basis and everyone will be different. So my neutral is different today than it was yesterday, and it will be different tomorrow than what it is today. Depends on what you've been doing, depends on how much sitting you've been doing or how much exercise you've been doing. I want you to rock that pelvis, think all the way forward, point A, all the way back, point C, find point B. Because I'd never want you to exercise in point A, and I'd never want you to exercise in point C. I want you to stay in B for as long as possible. And we will work in and out of neutral, but it's kind of like our home, where we keep coming back to. The other way you could find it if you're a visual learner is to make a diamond with your fingers and thumb. Put that diamond under your belly button, fingers go to your pubic bone, heels of your hands go to your hip bones. Now if I stand normally, I'm lordotic through my lower back. That's because of the amount of repetition that I did when I was younger through dance and gymnastics. So I've got an anterior tilt on my pelvis. When I stand like normally, my diamond, I can't even see it. If then I realign my fingers and my thumbs together so they're straight, I'm then bringing my pelvis into neutral. So normal, straighten the diamond, and now I'm in neutral. But understand that the diamond doesn't work for everyone. So if someone's got quite a large tummy, it won't work for them. So you might want to give both options of the rock and of the diamond. And you might have your own analogy that you want to use. People talk sometimes about a bucket of water, tilting too far forward, it will spill forward, tilting too far back, spill back. We're going to try and keep that still. So then lengthen up through the rest of the body, grow tall, let your shoulders come up, down and away from your ears. So your neck is lovely and long. Superb. And the arms are just relaxed And the head's just on the horizon. You know, you're not jutting your chin or pushing that chin down on the chest. Just lovely length through the body. We're going to connect with a breath with the body as well. So I'm going to ask you to place one hand on your rib cage and one hand onto the front of your belly. And I just want you to take a couple of deep breaths. Now again, you could breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, or you could breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I really don't mind. All I want you to do is breathe. And be aware of your breath. So as you're breathing, notice what's happening under your hands. Okay, so just stay with that for the moment. So just staying with that breath, perfect. I'm hoping that as you're breathing in, you're feeling your ribcage expand and you're feeling your belly expand. And then as you breathe out, you're feeling them move back inwards. You're getting that connection just happening there. So we're moving the breath from a very shallow breath to a more diaphragmatic breath. And this is going to help to not only engage the abdominals, but it will also connect with the very lowest part of your abdominals, being the pelvic floor, the network of pelvic floor muscles. So as you exhale, I want you to think about tensing the abdominals. Think about them being braced. So we're going to firm up the tummy and let the breath now just become lateral through the rib cage. So now as you're breathing in, there's no change in the belly. It's just the rib cage that's moving. And you'll feel it in the side of the ribs, you'll feel it in the back of the ribs, like a 360 breath. And as you exhale, you'll feel that move back inward, and the abdominals connect a little bit deeper. Now we can engage the abdominals and the pelvic floor muscles deeper as we breathe out. And the reason behind that is your diaphragm is like a dome shape. So as you're breathing in, it flattens to allow the air to come into the lungs more, to be able to move and let the ribs expand. As you breathe out, it comes up and pushes that air out of the lungs. Now, as it does that, it lifts up that network of pelvic floor muscles as well, the internal ones. There's a lot of external that make a massive difference, but internally, it helps to lift. So I want you to feel really strong, powerful through your center, and utilize your out breath as much as possible. So we're going to exhale on the exertion, exhale on the hard bit of the exercise. So stay nice and strong here. Don't worry if you come out of neutral anytime you want, but just kind of bring yourself back there whenever you can. Think strong through the butt, strong through the abdominals, but you're not holding your breath. Once you've got that going on, just take a moment to close your eyes and think about how you feel today. I want you to forget about the fact that you are on a course. And I want you just to breathe and relax your breath for you. So I'm going to put a little bit of music on, and I don't want you to worry if you can't hear it. It's just going to be in the background. I'm using the Mind and Body Beats by Pure Energy Go. So just be aware of how you feel today. There might be areas that feel tight, that feel tense. We just want to let that go. We're going to slowly take the head over to the right shoulder and then draw that head down and round over to the left. It's a little rotation coming through. And just recognize the neck first. If you're holding tension in the neck and shoulders, often that will affect the way that your body will move, especially your spine. So let's just ease this off. Whenever you feel ready, take the head down, chin on the chest, and then gently look up to the ceiling. So you're not hyperextending or forcing the neck. You're just allowing the neck to mobilize in both flexion and extension. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to hold the head down, chin on the chest. Roll the shoulders back. You'll feel a little bit more of a pull coming through your upper back and shoulders with your head down. So be aware of how that feels. Whenever you're ready, you're going to bring your head up and I want you to circle out through your shoulders. But circle both directions. Think about how that feels as you move. Which feels better for you today? So is it backwards or is it forwards? Which is giving you the best release? I want you to stay with the one that you prefer. Perfect. We're staying strong through the abdominals, strong through the bottom. Place your right hand onto your right shoulder. I want you to circle around this shoulder here. Like I said, we're going to listen to our bodies, not compare ourselves to anyone else in the class. Be aware of how that shoulder feels. How does it want to move? If it feels okay, take a full arm. If not, stay with the hand on the shoulder. But be aware of your mobility. And then all you're going to do is change that over to the other side. And you'll do a little comparison between your right and your left. So have you got one side that feels tighter? One side that might feel a little bit more sticky? The plane going over. It's the first time I've heard a plane go over in 7 weeks. And then alternate whenever you want to. So some of you might prefer to keep your body facing forwards. Others of you might want to rotate back and look back behind you. So just move how you want to. Well done. Whenever you're ready, you take the right arm over and then change to the other side. So we're going to start to warm up in a bit of lateral flexion and extension here. Pushing your hip bones to one wall. Push your fingertips to the other. Think about how that feels in the back. And then I'm taking that right arm back on the diagonal. So let's open up our chest. This is a dynamic stretch for your chest and your back. Let that release. Well done. Couple more if you can. We're going to counterbalance that, guys, by bringing the arms forward and then release. I call this a swoop, but you could call it anything you want. I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. And then let the arms rotate around the waist, bend the knees. Let's take the legs wider. Throw those arms in. I'm going to keep the feet wide and I'm going to move into a lateral lunge. So just placing the hand on the thigh above the knee, feel the stretch coming in through our inner thigh. Now again, if your inner thighs are tight, it will affect your balance. So I want these to stretch first before I start taking any balance work. So if you want to stay in the stretch a little bit longer, you absolutely do it. So let that release. Good work. Keep that going. So take that stretch for you. Perfect, Monica. That's great. Well done, Janice. Nice, Bethany. Really nice. Good work, Caroline. Excellent, Vicky. Let's ease that off. Well done. Good work. Whenever you feel ready, bring the legs back in. Take a little pedal push through your feet. Now I'm going to make that a bit bigger and I turn that into what I call my cartoon walk. Now again, that's not an official term. You could call it anything you want. Running man. But I press through the legs, press through the feet. Amazing. And then stand tall. Realign again. Bring your right leg forward and I'm going to point and flex your foot. So So body is lovely and long, shoulders are level. Brace the belly, rotate the ankle when you're ready. Go round in both directions. And then change those legs over. So again, rotate and then point and flex. As you move your legs, you're going to come out of neutral spine, so don't worry. Think about your shoulders kind of being your stabilizers. I'm going to go back to my right leg and coming forward and back. So starting to take this in a little leg brush. Option 1, stay in contact with the floor. Option 2, brush through. Feel free to hold a wall or hold a chair if you need to. You're squeezing the muscles in your bottom as you go back. Well done. Take the leg across and open. Be aware of how that feels in your hip. Again, you could stay in contact with the floor if you prefer. And then I'm going to come round the front and round the back. Little half moon. I always think of Jaffa cakes when I say that. You'll see how my mind wanders to food straight away. Well done. And then back to that pedal push or that cartoon walk if you want. Well done. Other side. So we realign. Left leg. Forward and back. We use this all just to mobilise the hip, but also just to start to get the body warm. You've got a little bit of engagement in the tummy as you balance. Muscles in your bum are starting to engage here. Leg comes across and open. We're giving the pelvic floor muscles a little bit of a wake-up call. As we take it open, they're under more strain, they're having to kick in. And then we come round the front and round the back. Well done. And I know that fire is going to get quite a lot there in that leg. So when that happens, go back to your pedal push, ease off and loosen off. Fabulous. Come to the back of your mat. I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. Feet under our hip bones again. Brace the belly, but drop the chin down on the chest now. You're going to roll forward, place the hands on the thighs and just come to a halfway point. Lengthen out the back, inhale. As you exhale, we roll up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, roll the shoulders, option 1. Option 2, lift the arms. Option 3, baby back bend. And then roll again when you're ready. So hands coming onto the thighs, we create that lovely long spine. Brace the belly here. Looking forward, sticking your bottom out and then rolling up. Choose the level that feels good for you. And then roll through whenever you want. So we're staying with this half roll down, really safe for everyone's backs. I want you to just really use it to mobilise your spine and take your time there as you do it. Well done. Good work. That's nice, Lisa, really nice. Excellent, Kirsty. That's going to be nice and safe for your back, Kirsty. Just coming into that position. No probs, my lovey. Well done, Leona. That's nice there. Excellent, Fiona. Good work, Annalise. That should feel quite nice as you're coming through, taking your time. Excellent, Liza and Judith, really good. Okay, we're going to make the next one our last one. From here, we make our way down to the floor. Now I'm coming into calf stretch. Some of you that might teach yoga or body balance or plyo, you might know this as down face dog. In fitness Pilates, we call it calf stretch because that's exactly what you're doing. We're stretching our calves. So you can either be on the hands or you can be on the elbows. We're going to bend through one knee, feel the stretch in the other leg, and then change over when you want. And your feet and your hands are as far apart as you want. Please don't ever feel you've got to get your heel down to the floor. You haven't. Just lengthen out the back of the legs. You can alternate that at your own time. Just pedaling through. If one side feels quite tight and you need to, just stay there a little bit longer. You choose wherever you want to be. Fantastic. And then anytime you're ready, hold both legs straight. We take a breath, and then as we exhale, we drop our knees to the floor. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's take a moment to lift our back up, stretch our spine here. Let the head and neck dangle. And then release. So we could call this cat stretch, lifting up. And then you can either come to flat back, or if anyone wants to dip under, if that feels good for you, you can. Your choice, your class. Just give that back chance to really stretch through. Well done. Great effort. And then sink back. Let's walk the fingertips away. Now this is your rest and recovery position. Some of you will want to have your knees wider and let your body sink, and others of you will want to have your knees together and let your body fold over. But wherever you are, you're going to take your hands to the right, put the left hand on top, head down. And feel that nice stretch going down the side of your waist. Stay there as long as you want to, and then change over to the other side. And then come back to centre. So remember, you can come here anytime you need. Good work. When you're ready, we're going to place our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. Okay, so for me and Caroline, we are hypermobile in our elbows. The inside of my elbow should not be facing forwards to you. So what I need to do is I need to realign the insides of my elbows so they face each other. So I might need to screw my hands into the floor a little bit more. So rather than me working into my joint, I'm working into my muscles. So I want you to be aware of that and just keep an eye on those insides of the elbows. You're going to brace the belly and feel lovely and long through the spine. We start to lift opposite arm to leg. Lower down when you wish. Change over to the other side when that feels good. So we're thinking about the length of our fingertips and our heel. So a couple of things just to be aware of. As you take the leg up, let's flex the foot. You'll find you can engage the muscles in your bottom deeper as you do that. We're keeping our hip bones shining downwards to the floor, so you don't need to turn out through the hip. And with your hand, as you lift it, have your palm facing inwards, so you can lift up your thumb just a little bit higher, and then that will engage through the back of your shoulder, just to help with regards to your posture a little bit more there. Superb. Now, if anyone couldn't do that up on the knees or the hands, by all means you could lay yourself flat down on the floor. Have the arms and legs as wide as you wish. Either keeping the head down and lifting opposite arm to leg, or lifting the chest, but keeping the neck in line with the spine. Still flexing the foot as you come up. Squeezing the muscles in the bottom. Good work. So choose your level, choose where you want to be there, guys. I know for some of you, you will feel that that's quite a similar move. Maybe you've done it in other classes. Well done. Great stuff, Caroline. Yeah, modify it. Good work, Vicky. Great work, Kirsty. Yeah, just see how that feels for you. Take your time. If you want a breathing pattern here, remember what I said about exhale on the exertion. So exhale on the hard bit, on the lift. So we exhale and lift. Inhale to return. Really firing up those muscles in the bottom. Whenever you feel ready, take a breather, push back. Stretch out through the back and just loosen up through the wrists as much as you need to. If you need to come up and just give your wrists a chance to recover, circle them round, loosen them off there. Going to do a little bit more work for the back, but incorporating more of our postural muscles in our upper back. This move is called VW. I'm going to bring you lovely and long. Have your legs as wide as you wish. Take your arms forwards, thumbs up. Head stays down for the moment. Brace the belly and squeeze the bottom. We're going to retract the shoulders and the elbows back, and then come forward. So we retract back and squeeze. So option 1, head down. Option 2, we can lift the chest, bring it into a back extension. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, if anyone doesn't want to do that down on the floor, you could do that seated. Squeeze and retract. However, if anyone's got any issues with the shoulders and you can't keep your arms up here, feel free to come back into a dark position. Squeeze there. So I retract the shoulders back and then lower. Keeping the muscles in your bottom really nice and strong and firm. Good work. Well done. Breathing here, just breathe easy. I don't really want to give you a breathing pattern too much. People might get in a bit of a pickle sometimes with that breath. Good work. If you need to, take those legs wider. If you want to engage your bottom more, all you do is turn your heels in. So as you're laying on the floor, we're here. You'll feel that will engage deeper. Or if we're really feeling strong today, lift the leg up. Squeeze and retract. Forward and lower. So just be aware of how that feels for you. No rush. And remember your rest and recovery position. So if you need to take that breather, you absolutely take it. Well done. Push back to relax and release if you haven't done already. So give your back a good stretch. So the next move, gang, is actually a mobility for the back. So the last 2 moves have been strength work for the back, for the bottom. And now we're going to try and get everything moving, let it be a bit more freer. So again, I'm going to come to all fours. I'm going to do my check of my insides and my elbows. And then I'm going to actually sit back lightly. So I'm taking myself out of alignment just slightly. And that's to give myself a bit more room in front. I'm going to take my right hand to my temple, thread the elbow through the supporting arm, and then lift that elbow up high to the sky. So let's thread through. And then lift up when you're ready. We're going to keep the abdominals braced. Keep the lower half of our body set in stone. And you're going to do 4 repetitions on this side. And then 4 repetitions on the other side. This is called thread like a needle. And it really is a mobility move. So there's not that many variations of it. It's more about how many repetitions you do. Bend the supporting arm as you come through. Straighten the supporting arm as you come up. When you go back to your first side, if you want to, and only if you want to, you don't have to, you can extend the arm. We're not going to collapse that shoulder down onto the floor though. So we keep it moving. And I've just chosen 4 on one side, 4 on the other, just so that you can keep it moving, keep it flowing. But you could maybe do 8 repetitions, maybe just do 2 repetitions. Depending on who you're teaching. Well done. And you might find there is a difference between your right and your left side. And if there is, you might want to do a few more on that tighter side. So you might find, you're just going to keep alternating after every 4. So you might find there's some tightness going on there in that back, maybe in the shoulder, and you want to thread through a little bit further. Good work. So just be aware of that hypermobility in the elbow again. Not forcing that. Pelvis stays still, stays strong. Good work. No problem, Elle. Just keep it nice and small. You don't have to rotate if you don't want to. Push back and have a rest whenever you want. Well done. When you've done equal amounts on both sides, I'm going to ask you to push back. Just stretch it away. Good work, gang. Okay, so I'm going to bring you onto a sideline position. Now, normally if we were in a live class together, I would actually move my teaching position to the side and get you to all face the same way with your legs all in the same direction, heads all in the same direction. But obviously we're in an online course, so I'm just going to ask you to lay on your side. And you might want to have a rolled up towel, just under the head here if you want to. If not, you can place your head just into your arm. So in an ideal world, we would lay lovely and long, with our heel, our hip and our shoulder and our ear all in line. But for some of us, that might not be appropriate. For me, with my lordosis in my lower back, it almost puts me into a bit more hyperlordosis. So I'm actually going to move my legs on the 45-degree angle. And that's going to give me a much more neutral spine. So I'm just going to show you that from the back so you can see that. So if I lay straight, I'm actually coming into a little bit of hyperlordosis here. If I move my legs to the corner of my mat, 45, that brings me into a much more neutral position. Or again, if you know your pelvis feels quite uncomfortable here or you struggle to be able to stabilise, you might need to bend that lower leg. Take it out of the equation and just work through the top leg. Again, that will bring your pelvis into a much more nicer, comfortable position. So whichever feels best for you, either straight, 45, or with a bent knee. Have the hand forward for the moment. Lift the waist away from the floor. So think about connecting here. Again, you're not holding the breath. Do it as you breathe out. We're going to lift our top leg, flex the foot, and start to circle round 4 repetitions. You'll do them 4 the other way. And keep alternating after every 4. So option 1 with the hand in front, a bit more stability. Option 2, take the hand away, place it onto the leg. A little bit less stability. Option 3, all the way over into torpedo, making that harder still. You could also lift your lower leg to make that even harder to balance. So just staying with your rotations, 4 round one way, 4 round the other way. Do it with a flexed foot to start with, guys. And just really feel that length coming through the leg. And then I want you to actually change the feet positions a couple of times. So try it with your heel turned up. And you'll find you engage through your outer thigh and your bottom deeper in that position. So if you want to work more of the outer thigh and butt, you are going to do that with your toes turned down and your heel up. A little bit kind of legs, thumbs and tumsy. Pelvis stays level. We're still lifting the waist away from the floor. You're going to start to feel that fire, so rest when you need to. And then try it with your toes turned out. You'll find that's working more of your quads. So everyone will have their own personal kind of goal of what they want to work. You choose with what feels good for you. All I ask is that you do equal amounts going forwards and equal amounts going backwards. And when you need to rest, you give that leg a good release. Well done. So whenever you feel ready, I'm going to bring you on your back before we turn over on the other side. Let's take the arms wide. Find our neutral spine again here as we lay. By all means, have your pillow or your towel behind your head if you need to. Option 1, we're going to roll the knees from right to left. Keep the feet on the floor and just allow our back to release. Option 2, I come to neutral, brace the belly, lift the legs up to tabletop position, and then roll the knees from right to left. Little gap between the knees if you want, or you can place those feet together, knees together. Now your arms are your stabilizers, and this move is called knee rolling. The further we extend the legs, the harder we work. So we might want to keep those knees bent for today. And just roll from right to left. Allow the shoulders to melt down into the ground. Be aware of how that feels in your waist. If your feet stay on the floor, it's more of a back release. If you lift your legs up, you're working more of your obliques and also rotating through the spine there as well. Well done. Good work, Charlotte, that's nice. And again, like I said, the further you take those legs away, the harder you work. So listen to your body. I'm not going to give you a breathing pattern here. I just want you to breathe easy. As long as you're not holding your breath, that's all that matters. Well done. And then feel free to hug those knees in anytime you want. Well done, Vicky, that's great. Now you're going to roll over onto your other side. At this point in time, I would always move myself, my teaching position, over to the other side of the room. But I'm just going to move myself onto my other side here. I'm going to find my side lying position. So remember, my legs can come on a 45-degree angle if I feel that that puts me in a better position in my lower back. I can bend my lower leg if that feels it's a better position for my hip. I can have my hand forward for stability, away for less stability, overhead for even less. I'm going to lift my abdominals away from the floor, brace, lift the top leg, flex the foot, and start my rotations. So I'm doing 4 repetitions one way, and again, 4 repetitions the other way. And just keep alternating after every 4. Again, I choose the number 4, that's just me, personal preference. Again, you could maybe do 1 repetition one way, 1 repetition the other way, or maybe stay forward for 30 seconds and then backwards for 30 seconds. Good work. And you might find that you've got one side that feels stronger than the other, one side feels more comfortable. You might need to move your position on one side, not move it on the other. Good work, Joe, that's great. So then change the foot if you want to. Do you remember I said toes down will really work through the outer thigh and the bottom. Toes up, really working through the quad. So staying with what feels right for you. And the whole time the hips are stacked, so we're not rocking and rolling through the hips. Good work. When that leg starts to fatigue, I want you to give it a little tap in front, loosen it off. And then you will slowly bring yourself round onto your back again. Again, you'll find your neutral spine position. Feel free to have your pillow or your towel behind your head. You can use your diamond or rock the pelvis forward and backwards. All the way forward, point A, all the way back, point C. Find our point B, somewhere in between. Relax the arms if they go wide and open. You'll feel there you've got more of an opening up of your chest. Otherwise, if they're quite narrow, you might find those shoulders start to protract, so be careful of that. I'm going to brace my abdominals. Option 1, just lift one leg. And then start to tap down. So again, we could do 4 repetitions on this side. Then bring the legs down, change over to the other side. Or if you want to make that harder, take the legs up to tabletop. Your knees are over your hip bones. So a great way to cue this is if you extend your arms fully, lengthen them from your shoulder up on a diagonal, heel of the hands goes towards the knees, not the fingers because the fingers can bend. So heels of the hands. And then as you're taking your foot away, if your knee touches your hands, touches that heel of the hand, you know you're bringing your legs in too close. So you need to be able to maintain that neutral spine in that position. Breathe out as your leg goes down. Breathe in as it comes up. And this is tabletop tap downs. There is no change in your back and there is no change in the abdominals. So once you know you've got that position of your arms and the legs, feel free to then relax the arms. They can go wide again or they can go by your side. You can always revisit it anytime you need. Good work. Well done. Further you tap away, the harder you work. And you can tap with either a toe or a heel, whichever feels best for you. Good stuff. And anytime you need to rest, hug those knees to the chest. Take that breather whenever you want. Well done. So we can give our back a little bit of a recovery here. And then I'm going to do a move just to mobilise the spine to finish. If you have got anything behind your head, just move it out of the way right now. Bring your feet flat down onto the floor. The distance between your feet and your bottom is your choice. You can have your feet either hip distance or they can be wider wherever you're comfortable. Relax the arms. We're going to start with a pelvic tilt. Forward to point A, back to point C. Forward, tilt forward, back and release. Now I know I said earlier that we wouldn't exercise in point A or C. We're not, we're working through them. So we're just tilting that pelvis. We're trying to gain some mobility in this very, very lower back. This area that's naturally fused. So let's rock here. Option 1, stay there. Option 2, you can come up vertebrae by vertebrae to a little ski slope shape with your knees and your hips and your shoulders just in that diagonal position. Squeeze the bottom and then roll the back down vertebrae by vertebrae. Coccyx hits the floor, we relax. We can roll up again when we're ready. Shoulders away from the ears, neck is lovely and long. Squeeze the bottom and then roll down when you're ready. Perfect, we're rolling up, smooth, slow and controlled. So option 1 is to have the hands down by your side. Option 2, we can lift those arms up above our head to the floor behind us. Leave those hands there and then articulate the back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coccyx hits the floor, we can bring our arms down by our side when we're ready. Inhale, exhale and we lift. That's going to give you a lovely stretch through the spine. So you're opening up your hip bones at the top. You'll feel that engagement happening in the bottom and the back of the legs. And I want this to be a real, just smooth, flowing move. Our spine here is just aiding that mobility. So our shoulder bridge, the main purpose of it is spinal mobility. But obviously you are going to be working that back a little bit, working through the bottom there as well. Just take your time as you're moving, no rush. Anytime you want to, you hug your knees into your chest, just to relax and release. Perfect. Well done, gang. So just breathe naturally as you do this. And whenever that feels right for you, you're just going to hug your knees to your chest. Take a little breather through that back. Okay, Okay, cross the ankles, let's circle round on our lower back, massage our lower spine. We go round in both directions. And then uncross the feet, cross them the other way, do our rotations again. I know that's probably going to feel a little bit weird, but it just really helps to level off your pelvic bones. Slowly from here, we take our right knee into our chest. Take a breath. As you exhale, extend the leg. Now, if you've got them, you could use a strap or you could use a band around the foot if you wanted to. Otherwise, you're just holding behind the leg where you feel comfortable. Try not to put any pressure on that knee though. So either above or below it. And if the leg feels tight, we can bend the knee, breathe in, breathe out, straighten the leg. So just working through into that back of the leg, wherever you feel comfy. And then slowly, whenever you're ready, we hold that leg straight. We can flex the foot and point the toes. It's a little bit of work through the back of the calf, into the Achilles. We're going to take a breath, and as you exhale, pull the toes down to you. Push the heel up to the ceiling and feel that deeper stretch coming in down the back of the leg. Now I'm going to change my foot position just slightly because we did change it while we were working in our side lying positions. I'm going to turn your toes inwards so they point towards your opposite shoulder, and then pull on your leg a little bit more. Now notice if that changes the stretch for you. Notice where you feel it. Your body will tell you where you're tight. Then turn the foot the other way so the heel is in and the toes go wide. Notice how that feels for you. And then you're going to stay with that foot position out of those three. So whether that's central, toes in or toes out, whichever feels the best stretch for you. We relax the leg when you're ready. I'm going to extend my left leg down to the floor and open this right knee just to the side. Hand on the inside of the leg, pressing away, opening up our pelvis, opening up through the inner thigh. Some of you might prefer to take that left arm up above your head to the floor behind you and feel that release. Slowly you'll pull that knee across. Use the opposite hand as you come over. Right arm can come out shoulder height, and just gently pull that knee down to you. Maybe you'll feel a stretch in your bottom, maybe in your lower back, maybe in your outer thigh, maybe you won't. Just allow that to release. And then slowly bring the knee back to you. We swap the legs over, coming over on this other side, stretch away. Feel free then, gang, if you want to keep your right leg bent, please do, and then lift that leg up to the ceiling. Again, holding where you feel comfortable, and if you need to bend and straighten, just to warm up through the back of the legs, you can. I want you to really think about how that back of the leg feels. Is there any tightness there? Can you let that tightness go? We'll take a breath, and when it feels good for us, we flex the foot and point the toes. Again, holding where you feel comfortable. By all means, you could use a strap, a band or a towel around that foot. Let's hold the foot flex, pull the toes down to you, shoot the heel up to the ceiling. Notice how that stretch feels. Turn the toes in, So your heel is flared out, toes turned in, pointing to your opposite shoulder. Pull again on the leg. Think about how that feels. And then turn the foot the other way. Think about those 3 positions. Which do you feel is the most effective stretch for you today? Stay with the one that you feel that is the best. I'm going to bring the knee in, stretch my right leg along. Open that knee to the side. The stretch comes through our inner thigh. If you want to, your right arm can come up above your head to the floor behind you. And then slowly, you'll bring that knee across and pull all the way over. Well done. Come back into the chest and take a full body stretch. Very slowly in your own time, you're bringing yourself up to sitting. Sit comfy for you. Take the right hand down, the left hand over, and we stretch the waist. Change over any time you're ready. Hands back behind you, let's open the chest. Perfect. Come all the way round. I want to bring you to kneeling. So we're just going to have a little bit of a release in the hip flexors because you've been working those quite hard in those abdominal exercises. You might want to place your towel just under one knee. Bring the other leg forward. So we're making 2 right angles with our legs. I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. I'm going to take my pelvis and we're going to tilt forward and back. Again, we're working through those 2 positions, point A and point C. And then what we're going to do is actually stay in A, so tuck all the way forward, and then lean back slightly so that you get that stretch here. In that inner thigh, in that front of the thigh, in that hip flexor, just bringing that forward there. We can lift that arm up if we wish. We can tilt over if we wish. And then release when you want. Change over to the other side, guys. So bringing that forward, again we can tilt our pelvis forward back. So we're not coming into a deep lunge. We're staying in 2 right angles with our legs. And actually, when we stay forward, our body weight goes back rather than forward. So pelvis tilts, but we open back, trying to stretch this area a little bit longer. Arm up if you want, tilt over if you wish. Me personally, my hips are so tight, I can feel that stretch already there. I don't need to raise the arm. Good work. Slowly, you're going to come back just to that calf stretch. I want you to recognise whether or not that feels any easier second time round. Take a breath and slowly bring your hands back to your feet. Recorrect your feet under your pelvic bones, and you're going to gently rise, vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the neck and the head up last, and I want you to roll your shoulders backwards. Okay, let's take a little comparison from the start of the class. As you rotate your arm through, how do they feel now? Now, if they were pretty clunky and clicky, they're probably still going to be. But maybe they might feel a little bit looser. Let's come into our roll down, just that half roll down. Drop our chin, heavy head. Hands come on the thighs, we look forward. Inhale. Exhale and roll. I want you to really be aware of your back. How does it feel now as you move? Stretching that away. And then rolling up and through when that feels good for you. Perfect. I'm going to do one more. As you come over this time, I want you just to let go of any last little bit of tension from your body. Let go of any last little bit of limitations that you're holding on to within yourself. So that when you stand a little taller and a little stronger. We take a breath, inhale. As we exhale, we bring ourselves back to our perfect Pilates posture. Everything comes back into alignment for us. We take a breath. And as we exhale here, we bring our pelvis back into our neutral spine without the aid of our hands now. Try and make it be a little bit more automatic. And then one more time, inhale. And as you exhale, you are going to grow a little taller. We bring the right arm above the head and the left. The right hand forward and the left. The right palm in and the left. And we give ourselves and each other